If you have no conviction, if there's no fruit of obedience to Christ in your life, if there are no works in your life being demonstrated, none at all, that is something that I would be very alarmed about. Just Me is asking, can you talk about the concept of faith alone versus works? James says faith without works is dead. Can faith be true without someone's life demonstrating it? How do we balance these ideas? I think this is a really good question, Just Me. And this is something that I think about quite a bit. There are a lot of more progressive type Christians who would say, hey, you know, Paul and James are in total contradiction to each other. They're hopelessly contradictory and we can't reconcile them. I don't agree with that. I think that they are both saying they're attacking different problems from the same starting point. My current pastor once described it like James and Peter and Paul are sort of standing back to back. You know how when people are in a war and they stand back to back and they're fighting out so that their backs are covered. He said James and Paul are kind of like that. They're both shooting at different targets from the same place and they have each other's back. And so how I understand it is that faith without works is dead. And that's kind of goes with that last question. If you have no conviction, if there's no fruit of obedience to Christ in your life, if there are no works in your life being demonstrated, none at all, that is something that I would be very alarmed about. So if you're really a Christian, there is going to be good works that come out of your life. Now listen, with some people, that process is a lot slower than others. It may not, some people get saved and it's like they're a completely different person the next day. Other people, it's a bit slower of a process. But if you look back, I've heard Krista say it like this, if you look back from a year ago and you're a little different than you were a year ago, if you see that progress, even if it's slow, that's evidence your faith isn't dead. There's progress being made. There's fruit coming out, even if it's not as quickly as you'd like or as much as you'd like or as much as you like to see in someone else's life, right? So that's how I balance those ideas.